Welcome to Before the Lights. If you're new here, we're a team of health professionals based in London who train people from all over the creative world to get ready for TV, film, even live shows, but most importantly, for everyday life. I'm Dave Hasty.
I'm George Ashwell.
I'm Georgia Canavan.
And I'm Josh Betteridge.
We've been lucky enough to build a pretty special group of members here at the club, so we thought it would be nice for other people to get to know some of them as well as we do.
I was like, I need to start going to the gym. So I literally got up my laptop, and was like, PT's for actors.
Welcome to Before the Lights podcast, guys. I'm Greg James. With me over here is Dangerous Dave, and here is Evil George. And today we're talking grind set.
Grind set?
It's not about mindset, guys. It's about grind set.
It was the very first time I met you when you came in and you actually had to run off and be sick in the toilet.
You feel quite vulnerable when you're kind of lying on your back with your legs up in the air because you feel sick. Just breathing, and I'm like, this never happens. I'm so sorry.
So sit back, only do some exercise if you want to, and maybe even learn something about how to look after yourself. Welcome back to the Before the Lights podcast. Today it's Josh that's with me.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Joshua.
Don't know why I got nervous then.
Because you've been away, that's why. So to give this context, I will introduce you. But
yes, I'm fine.
You're sitting behind the curtain for now. I always ask Josh or George what they've been doing, and they don't like that. But recently,
it's funny though.
But recently they've not been here, so I genuinely have something to ask them. But normally I've been with them all the time. But what have you been doing? You've been
not much.
You've been away. You've been away.
I've been away. We've been in Africa filming.
Not allowed to talk about that though.
A TV show, and it's very exciting. Very exciting. It's working with a big cast, and we've had a wonderful time with them. All the cast are great. The crew are lovely.
We've been practicing what we preach, because often we talk about that stuff.
Yeah.
And now, in some capacity, they're actually off away doing it, and we're talking about it on the podcast. So that's great.
It's very exciting.
But it's an interesting discussion, but it's not why we're here.
What are we here for, Dave?
Well, as I've written, we're very excited. We are very excited, but because I've written it down, makes it seem like we're not. But we are very excited to welcome today's guest to the show, the award-winning writer Krysty Wilson-Cairns.
Hello. Oh, thank you.
I'm going to give you a little bit of a bio for people that may not.
Yeah, no one knows who I am, so please hype me up.
So your work includes 1917, for which you received an Academy nomination and a BAFTA award.
Yes.
And the film Last Night in Soho, which was produced by our mutual friend Eric Fellner.
Yes.
Mutual client.
Eric.
Friends. I texted him.
He's my client. No.
I texted him about Leeds drawing with Chelsea, so that means we're friends.
Okay. Oh, that's friendship.
He replied as well, so that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Anyway, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
This is going to be great. Going back to 1917, when you first came in, I googled. Did I Google you? Googled the film because I'd seen the film, and I was like, "It's mental that was your debut film."
Yeah, it's weird because it wasn't the first film I wrote, but it was like the first film that got made.
The first film that got made, but then also was nominated for an Oscar.
It was nice. It was lovely.
And won a BAFTA.
I mean,
that's mad, isn't it?
Fun times.
Yeah,
really good. But yet, it wasn't even the first film I wrote for Sam. Like I kind of was working for like 10 years. I did a TV show called Penny Dreadful with like John Logan and Ava Green and all these people, and then I was like just constantly working writing scripts. 10 years.
Scripts were they scripts that became things that people saw, or were they scripts you were just kind of putting work in?
I mean, one of them became The Good Nurse. That was probably the first script I did, which I did with Eddie Redmayne and Jessica Chastain in Netflix. So that was probably the first paid job I had alongside Penny Dreadful, but was the most recent film that got made. It was like 10 years to make it.
It takes a long time, doesn't it?
Oh, it takes so long.
That's what's super interesting, I think, because people don't really realise that there's that timeline happening behind all these projects often.
Oh, massively. And also people don't realise, I think, kind of what a screenwriter does. A lot of times I speak to people and they're like, oh, so do you make up the words that they say? And I'm like, yeah, and also the kind of architecture of the film and the story and what it looks like and all that. And then, it goes with people and you collaborate. Like, I always remember my aunt was bewildered when I was like, oh, I have to do a rewrite. And she's like, but you've written it. Why are you going to write it again? And I was like, oh.
I guess that is like,
I didn't write it good first time.
Most people, you probably do a thing at work and you either hand it over or submit it or finish it or whatever, and there isn't necessarily someone that goes. I guess it does happen, but not in the same way that someone else comes in.
Yeah.
Sometimes someone that you've not necessarily asked for them to be there,
Yeah,
and they go,
massively.
"This is what I think. Do it again."
Yeah, pretty much. And then like it goes through a whole process. So like sometimes you're working with the director, and then producers come in and give notes, and then the studio or whoever's financing it will come in and give notes, and then then the actors will come in and you'll rehearse it, and then you do notes again, and so you're always
nobody wants their notes, do they?
I love their notes. It's my favourite thing. It's my
I should play this type of character. Who'll play this?
Sometimes I will not name names. You get actors that are like, I think I should have all the cool scenes. Like I think I should fire the gun, and you're like, I don't know how to tell you that you can't fire the gun in the scene because you're not like. You're a hostage. Like I have no idea how to tell you this. So you have actors like that, which I don't actually work with them very often, so their notes aren't really a problem for me. But then you have like really phenomenal actors, like Eddie Redmayne or George McKay or Anya Taylor-Joy or Matt Smith, like all these people that I've worked with who are really keyed in to their characters and what works and what doesn't work. Also, I've made up what they've said literally at home in my pajamas talking to myself. Like I'm like, me. I was playing like Call of Duty last night and someone went, "Are you a little boy?" And I was like, "No, I'm an adult woman."
Also, weird question from someone. Just anyway.
I think they could hear my voice and they were like not sure. We should say I'm haunted by a little Scottish boy.
That's who you're talking to when you're writing.
I bring him
There
with
he is.
me. He's
Yeah,
behind
yeah.
me. I bring him with
What's
me.
he called?
Dougal McDougal, obviously.
Obviously. It's a great
Or
name.
Donald McDonald's, first name, second name.
I reckon you'd be at risk of McDonald coming after you. One of them, either the hotel one or the fast food one.
I thought you meant the ghosts of the clan that were murdered. I was like,
You've gone way
shit,
too far.
who knows?
You've gone
I
way
know.
too far.
I
Way
know.
too Scottish then.
Too in.
Way too Scottish. Which actually brings me nicely to something that we can do. Because I know through Georgia that you're a big, and actually we've spoken about it as well, you're a big fan of Iron Brew.
I'm a huge fan of Iron Brew.
So I've never done this before.
What?
We've got you a present. We've got you a present. Yes, please.
Is it here?
We bought some.
What? You've got some Iron Brew?
Yeah, especially.
Oh.
There's a little secret fridge around the corner,
I
which
mean-
when Nathan from Fiction Studios is doing
Oh my God.
kind of ADR and stuff, they'll fill it with
And
the
it's
things.
cold. No, imagine I double fisted an Iron Brew in the podcast. Wouldn't that look
You basically
insane?
you gave us a rider without realising it,
I do you know what?
and
This
we
is,
thought why not?
but
Iron Brew.
how many gyms, like how many places do you get this kind of bespoke treatment?
Nowhere else.
Like, come on. It's
My
a
favourite
full
thing
health
about-
service.
Although this is like it's massively stereotyping you, but you do love it, don't you?
You know what? Sometimes like stereotypes are true. I hate to say it.
All Scottish people
Hate to say it.
love Iron Brew.
I love Iron Brew so much. Like to the extent that like I don't drink your coffee.
Just
And
what is in it?
hot iron brew.
What is
No,
in it?
don't read the ingredients.
Don't read the
We don't need to
ingredients.
do that.
Other
Also,
than-
I even have like there's a vintage type of Iron Brew that they produce that has the sugar
yeah,
because
you
the
told
sugar
me- you
tax
told me about
obviously
this.
RIP original Iron Brew.
This is
and
a
it's
lot
called
less-
Iron Brew 1901, and I have it. I get it delivered
Wow.
in a pallet to my office.
What's the sugar content of Iron Brew 901?
It's like 39% of your
Nice.
daily
Great.
intake. Or no, it's not. It's 39 grams. That's more than 39%.
Oh shit, that's loads.
I should double check that.
But
in
either way,
case
it's a
I'm
lot, it's a lot.
defaming, in
It's a
case I'm
lot.
defaming Iron Brew.
But we love you, Iron Brew.
This
We
is
love
kind of
it.
Sponsor
roughly 12, 15-ish grams, so it's punchy. The real stuff's
But
punchy.
the real stuff is like,
I reckon you could get a sponsorship by Iron Brew, surely.
I can't believe they've not sponsored me. Like
Maybe this is
I'm
not-
kind
this-
of.
This is why we're doing
How
this.
dare they? Thank you. In the
Who
pursuit of
owns
Iron
it?
Brew.
Let's have a look. Who owns Iron
See,
Brew?
usually after you wrap on a film, the director gives you a poster, like signed and usually with a little note, and I get it framed. And the one that Edgar gave me for Last Night in Soho was like, Krysty Wilson-Cairns, it runs entirely on sugar and Iron Brew. Thanks for Last Night in Soho. I was like, Iron Brew, where are you? Come on.
I think
But you need
it's
those
about
little
time.
things. Like when you're on a long shoot, that's great.
Oh,
You need the little
nothing but
things.
sugar. It was a,
just
like
to
it was a
keep
night
you
shoot
going.
as well. Like
Were
middle
you
of the
not
night.
just wildly up and down, or you're so used to it that you're actually very stable on a diet
I feel
of
like
fizzy sugar?
I feel like if I am not given sugar, that would be a problem. Like a gremlin that got wet. But as long as the sugar level is maintained through Haribo,
you're-
Tank Fastics and Iron Brew, not a
then you're
problem.
absolutely fine.
Functioning.
I mean, this also would fit in with your alter ego of the little Scottish boy.
Little Scottish
'Cause
boy.
he would definitely be living on Iron Brew.
He
and
bleeds
sweets.
Iron Brew.
Iron Brew and Fantastics, or whatever they're
Oh,
called. Tang Fastics.
Tank Fastics.
That's what he'd be eating.
Yes.
He'd be
A
in that
Tunnock
shop.
Snowball.
They're good. Now I'm on board. The other two,
good. Yeah,
Iron Brew don't mind. Tangfastic's not for me, but the Snowball, 100%.
You guys are
Anything
like
from tonics.
bastions of health, though.
Somewhat.
Bastions of balance.
Balance.
Which
To
means
me, that's health.
A tonics tea cake it goes a long way for a relationship.
course.
To offer.
Well, I was going to bring us in towards talking about the gym anyway, but we're kind of arriving there naturally, which is always good.
Dave always likes a manoeuvre into a space on the.
I see
conversation.
my
Seamless
role here
segue.
as like
you're very
I'm
good at
steering
that.
the ship.
You're the master of
somewhat.
ceremony.
Mm.
I think today it
And
might
I can
be you.
tell from whatever plan that
It
you
might
have.
be you today because this is what you do for a living. Write things down and make it all make sense.
Oh, no.
But what I was going to get to is just saying that you've settled in, despite your diet and lifestyle, you've settled into...
Wow, zing.
I didn't write that bit
It's
down.
true, though. It's funny because it's true.
It is true, isn't it?
I'm not even offended. You can't, it's not defamation.
I think you're
it's true.
actually... You wouldn't be afraid, you'd be proud
100%.
because you're championing a lifestyle that is favoured by the people of your nation,
My people.
your people.
Paint half
and-
my face blue. Let us rise against you.
and you're showing that we can't just play it down. It works. It's
Yeah.
working professionally. It's working
Yeah.
in for your health, for your
I
fitness.
feel like
for
some
all of it.
doctors or like I
They'll
don't
study
know
you.
are
You
going
will
to
be
come.
studied.
Yeah, sure. I
You
will
will be
leave my
studied.
body to science if that
We're
helps.
almost saying like I hope people listening aren't thinking that Krysty is the most unhealthy person ever. Because
But also, I don't think they should think that I'm healthy. Like I'm balanced, right in the middle.
You know
of
what's
But when you first came in here, I remember showed you around. We chatted a bit about the kind of, which is often the case, the people that we both know.
Yeah.
Which is often how you ended up coming in the first
Yeah.
place, and then you kind of admitted to being fairly unhealthy
Oh,
at that
deeply
moment
unhealthy.
in time. And then we made a plan to start training. But the training side of things, you hit the ground running there because I think you undersold your athletic prowess. Let's call it.
there is athleticism in there. It's in there.
Which when
It
you
is.
started
It's
moving, I was
so
like,
deep
okay, this
down.
is you're
It's
just gonna
down.
settle into
Yeah.
this quite easily, and it's become other than we could talk about your recovery from E. coli as well, but
Let's not.
other than
Dear God, let's stop.
other
Please
than
no.
like any illness or whatever, you're really consistent. Like
Yeah, I
you're
love
in
doing
here.
it, I must
Now
say.
it's part of like how you.
Yeah, no, it's
operate.
really part of my reason. I've really missed it the last like couple of weeks that I've been ill. It's like not just mentally, which is kind of where you think you'll miss the sort of like the release of exercise, but even just physically. Because I mean, I used to paint a picture of what my work looks like. It's me hunched on a laptop, either on a desk or a couch or a train seat or a plane seat, like just kind of writing and usually forgetting to stop and eat or walk or move
You're
or
like
drink.
fully in the world.
Yeah,
that you're
I'll just
writing.
like,
Yeah.
and I love doing it,
Uh-huh.
but then I'll sometimes do it for like, 8 hours without moving.
Yeah. So do you have like now you've kind of gone, you're aware of that happening, and you were like, I want to do things that are going to counteract it because
Well,
it's unavoidable, really, in terms of
Yeah, it's
your
unavoidable, and like I think a lot of the coping mechanisms before that I'd be like, you go to like a chiropractor, the doctor, and they'd be like, oh, just every 20 minutes, like stand up and move your shoulders, and you're like, okay, and like obviously I'm going to forget to do that because I'm currently thinking about like this scene, so I'm not going to be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
20 minutes, I'm going to go
Yeah.
flip shoulders. So it's like that the sort of practical things that would maybe work for other people just didn't work for me. So coming to the gym and then realising, like, I mean, I had never used a foam roller in my life. Love it. Use
It's
it
great.
twice a day.
So I think with you, I think when we trained, I just give people the foam roller. It's my test to people. I just give them a foam roller and they go,
just as a present.
and they're like, what do I do with this? I'm like, I don't know, you show
Just
me.
roll around. Just like absolutely rolling
And
around.
I'm pretty sure you were just rolling around every little bit. You're
was
like, oh, this is great. What's this?
At
What
one
does this
point,
do?
I remember at one point you were like, "Are you doing it on your shins?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
yeah, that
Feels
was
good.
it. That was it.
And you were like, "Oh," I just remember
That
your
was
face. And you're
advanced.
like,
It feels nice though.
But that's it. You can't do anything wrong with the foam roller. But you went straight to the advanced level of hands, feet off the floor, roller on both shins.
Oh.
I was like, that's good.
That was your first.
But
choice.
our first session, which might have been your second or
I thought
third
I'd start
session.
at the
Start at
bottom
the
and kind
shins.
of work
Just came
my
all
There
way
is
up.
logic there, I suppose.
Not firm logic, but a logic.
Just when she was on her head.
I
and
know when I
rolling
was
her
like
head.
trying to do my ear, I'm like earlobe. That's where it went wrong. But that in itself was really helpful because it's like something I do in the morning. I do when I finish work. It instantly kind of like unclicks all the sort of knots that have happened.
Yeah.
I mean, not fully. And then like little things like the thing that you make me do where I stand against the wall with my arms up, which I hate
Yeah,
because
it's hard.
it makes me feel so weak. Like it makes me worry I wouldn't survive. Like if something went wrong and there wasn't a world in which screenwriting happened, I'm like,
But in order to survive, you wouldn't be standing against the wall with your arms sliding up and
no,
down.
surely being a tiny ball-shaped person
you'd
would
probably be better off.
smaller target.
Because you'd be crawling around in the darkness.
Yes.
And people like us would be like, oh shit.
I'm like, I'll tell you a story if you don't shoot me.
I've got a client who hates that exercise so much that he calls it the I surrender. So he leans up on his wall and he goes, I surrender, every time he does it. Often it's on Zoom, so he's in a private place, but I'm hoping whoever's next door can just hear him shouting,
To give,
I surrender.
It's an exercise for people that need to kind of work on retraction, moving the shoulders backwards. So that's like for anyone that had no idea what was going on.
if you YouTube a wall angel, then you would often get the right movement.
Wall Angel is a great name for it.
Isn't it nice?
Because I name all the exercises that you make me do, and almost all of them are not the correct name, but also very rude.
Do you want to share your most offensive name of our exercises? If you can remember them.
I mean, so because I've not been here in 2 weeks, I'm so sorry. I apologise.
If you
know
remember them.
is it the skier thing?
Yeah.
I call it the double wank off. Because all I can think of it when I'm doing it is like, and obviously probably not the correct form for a double wank off. I think you'd hurt someone.
I think he's in the Olympics, isn't he?
Depends where the people are.
Double wank off. Is he in it?
Double wank off. He's Austrian
Austrian guy,
luge,
isn't he?
right?
I thought it was a particular spin that they do in the figure skating.
He's landed the quadruple and the double wank
Oh,
off.
it's a double wank, a twiffle.
Well, this brings us nicely on to talking about your sporting background, I think. I don't know if I'm wrong about this, but I'll say it anyway. Your entire family is in charge of skating and ice skating in Scotland. All of them.
I don't know if they're in charge.
You're from an ice skating dynasty.
I am from an ice skating dynasty.
It is though.
No, but
I don't
genuinely.
know if you've ever explained it to Josh.
Well,
It is mental.
I know some
It is crazy.
your brothers are involved, but where does it start from the top of the dynasty?
I mean, like my
Lord Cairns began.
like great grandfather or like a great grand uncle was like quite a famous ice hockey player, but like a famous ice hockey player in like I wouldn't know the ballpark, 1920, like a long time ago.
In
and
this
then,
country,
yeah, but I mean like the way that
in Glasgow.
Yeah, well, no, in Scotland, he's in like a kind of like international hockey hall of fame, like
Wow.
not the American one, but
But
like
still,
sort
it's
of.
amazing.
That's cool.
And they all played, and then my aunt was like a world champion figure skater, and she was like gold medalist.
See, it's true.
My
I didn't say it was a lie.
cousin my cousin was knighted for services to ice hockey. He's like the highest goal scoring international
genuinely a
British player.
How dare you, David?
He just got knighted, and I'm very happy for him. But I'm surprised. I'm surprised that services to ice hockey is a thing.
I think
Don't dish it out for
King
anything.
Charles was surprised as well. To be honest.
He was like, "What do you
He was
do?
like, what?
What is ice hockey?"
And why did they get the because they scored? Did you say they scored the most?
Yeah,
most
Colin
nets?
Shields is his name. He's played for Scotland. Oh, he's played for Britain. He's played in Team GB. Their ice hockey team did not qualify this Olympics
that's a shame.
no.
because he's retired. Who
Yeah.
knows? Who knows
We
if
need
that's
him.
connected?
Why
We
wasn't
need
he
him.
there just slapping in goals?
He's
needed him.
he's too old.
Fair enough.
It's really hard, and you get hit a lot. And he just got his teeth fixed after he left because like ice hockey players, like all their
It's
teeth
a
are
lot. It's
absolutely.
brutal sport, isn't it?
Oh my god, absolutely devastating. My dad coached the like under 18 British team. My brother played like for my brother played for Team GB. My brother had he won all the MVP Player of the
Nice.
Year. He's a goaltender. He played out in Canada. My cousin that got knighted was drafted to the Philadelphia Flyers in America.
Amazing.
That's so cool.
They played all over Europe, and then they both ended up playing in in Northern Ireland for the Belfast Giants. So they retired out there, playing just recently, like a couple of years ago. And they're like,
It is a dynasty.
It's amazing.
it's weird because I would go and visit my brother when he still played, and you'd go into the team shop in the arena in
Posters.
Belfast, and there'd be a calendar of my brother and I'd be
Because Belfast's one of the bigger clubs, isn't it?
They
There's
are.
a few
Yeah.
around the UK.
And
They're actually
Nottingham are
pretty
quite
big. I know
big,
in
aren't
Belfast it's actually
I mean, and
lot
this
of
is
people go and watch it.
we are talking to Chris here, but I would like to know a little bit more about what was their conditioning like? What was the main thing they focused on? Was it sprints? Were they in the gym a lot doing weights?
I don't know. I paid absolutely no. I
Make
used
it
to just
up now. Make it up
okay.
now.
I think obviously I know a very basic level. So much of it for players is conditioning of the lower body because
Yeah.
it's such explosive speed. So
Yeah.
there's loads of sprints. I played as a child, not very well. But when I played, we would do bleep tests on the ice. So much about it was And actually, a lot of ice hockey players also train figure skating because you're either really, really good at handling the puck or you're really, really good at skating. Some people are good at both, but if you're not good at either of them, like you have to really condition one of them. So if you don't have a natural ability to stick handle, you usually then work very hard on your skating.
The stuff you're describing, because it was evident when you first came in and trained, because you could see, and what I mean by that is
my
like,
brother was athletic. That was always
no, but like
Especially put our ice skates
you
in,
have
that's
the
what you're
background
doing.
of skating, and you've trained, and you've had like a proper sporty upbringing, and you could see that when you first started moving around, because you kind of described yourself from the writing side of things, and then when we got into the gym and you started doing certain movements, I was like, oh, like that's too easy, we need to change it to this, blah blah blah, which often isn't the case, but there's a lot of reason why you can kind of see that.
I think everyone in my family's really sporty. Like, we all enjoyed sports. Like my mum skates, but like my mum and I will play tennis. Like we'll go swimming. Like we'll do all that kind of stuff. Like it's sort of like a big thing. I play tennis like once a week. I like padel. You know, any excuse to go and do a sport.
Keep it active.
Like if someone is like, do you want to go and kick a football? And I'm like, yeah, sure, that'd be fun. I'm
Yeah.
bad at it, but like I'll enjoy it.
Yeah, it's good to have the two sides, and you've got the creative side and the kind of sports and health and fitness side. And like going back to kind of one of the first sessions we had, what I found was a really interesting story, which I hope you'll be able to share with us again, is that like how you actually got started in the world of TV. What was like your way in. From my memory, it was basically you just hung around on the set of Taggart
100%.
until someone gave you something to do.
Pretty much. I was like 13 or 14 and they were shooting kind of this yard next to like, well, kind of like near where my family were from, and I was obsessed with like film and TV. I was always watching movies. I had no concept of movies even being made. Like I was just like, this is something that arrives on the cinema screen or at Global Video, and I rent the VHS and I go home and I watch it and I'm like thrilled by it. And I was like going home and I think my grandpa was like, oh, that's a film set. And I was like, I'll be right back. And I just kind of wandered on. And this was obviously at a time where they were not so concerned with security and keeping people off sets. And I just kind of wandered on and started watching. And then I kind of went back like several days in a row, and they obviously were like, who is this little weirdo? And then I started asking questions, and they were like, go and get us coffee. So I would go and I started getting coffee for like some of the AD team.
Do you think this would still happen?
I think part of the problem now is, you know, back then I didn't have a camera phone or anything like that. That's how old I am. So like if I wandered onto that set, what was I going to do? Go and tell someone what I saw? Whereas now, like, almost everything that you do is NDA and it's protected and you don't want it leaking and you don't want kind of like intimate details, and also it's just a health and safety issue to have like a 14-year-old wandering around with big equipment, like dangerous equipment.
It is mad as a way of starting.
Like I was like, oh, can I help you lay track? And they were like, okay. Like I remember bringing the wood kind of like, you know, the wood pegs to kind of get the track level and just being like, here you are.
You obviously, like in that space of time, you must have learnt a hell of a lot, which is like invaluable
it was
stuff
amazing.
that
It
you've
was
kind of like absorbed so many different parts of that world, and then obviously it's made an impression on you to then go and study it and all the rest of it.
Yeah, I was so lucky. I was so fortunate. And they were really, everyone on that set, even the actors, like sometimes I'd be sitting in chairs next to the actors and I'd start asking them questions. I really remember Blythe Duffy, who's, you know, the star of it. I'd be like, oh, I'm really interested in this. And I think she phoned the editor so that I could go in and be the editor's assistant for a week in the summer holidays.
Wow.
Like, she was like, oh, you should go and learn this bit.
Yeah.
Like, really, people really gave up their attention and their time and really nurtured me. And I found that almost every place I've been, like every set that I've worked on, by and large, I've been so lucky to benefit from really kind people bestowing experience.
I suppose at the start there's a lot of right place, right time, but then also like if you ask the right questions and you're interested and you're genuinely showing interest, people are more often than not quite willing to help, I suppose, aren't they?
And I think as well, like a lot of people when they go onto sets or when they have this sort of idea of sets, they're like, oh, it's the director and the actor that's interesting. And that's not to say the director and actor aren't interesting, but they're also kind of the most busy, kind of and the most completely overwhelmed by what's going on. And I was really fascinated by like everything that went into the making of it. So like I wanted to speak to the grips and the gaffers and the AD team and kind of costume and hair and makeup. Like I was like, why are you guys shouting checks and then running on right before? Why don't you do it earlier? And just like little things like that. And I think, which I found as well, is like when people come up to me and they're really interested in my job, I really want to talk to them because like people aren't usually that interested in my job's kind of weird.
When 1917 was happening, when it like you'd written it and it's beginning and it's kind of taking on its life, Did you know at that point, or even before then, that like this had potential to be such a success? Do you kind of have a feeling that like, oh, this is cool, what we've got here is pretty
It's difficult because there's like so many different stages that kind of like a project will go through. So like there'll be like the first idea where you're like, oh, I'll do a treatment, which is basically like a kind of no dialogue short version of the story that's more of a working document. And I'll share that with the director and we'll kind of talk it through. I remember kind of after doing that, I was like, I'm really excited for the next stage. I'm really excited to write the script.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I was writing the script, I do a lot of research as well. So I went to France and I kind of walked the route that Sam and I had set out for the film. Like I walked the kind of thing and over a few days with my mum. Actually, I took my mum along because she wanted to go to an antiques auction in Paris.
Oh.
So I was like, come and do this with me and then we'll go.
Stuff.
But basically what I took her through was like horrifically sad graveyards of like...
It is really sad. I think we went with school maybe to go around all that stuff and it's like really kind of... It hits you, doesn't it?
So, and as an adult, because I went with the school as well, and when you're at the school you're like, oh yeah, okay, well they're 22 years old, they were men.
Yeah, you think about it in a different way, don't you?
And then when I was out there I was like, oh my god, I'm older than everyone buried here.
Yeah.
Like it was so alarming. But in doing that and then you're writing it and that process feels really relevant because you're sort of there, you're on the ground, it feels really real. It feels I mean it's a very important project anyway, but you feel the pressure of the importance of it, which I like. And then I finished the first draft of that in Paris and I got my mum to read it and she cried.
Really?
And I was like, yes. But then she had really good notes. She was like, this was before the ending, spoiler, is that Blake, the younger soldier, is going to try and save his brother. But before that they were just going to save a random regiment and my mum was like,
okay.
I think it'd be better if it was his brother. And I was like, I'm just going to phone Sam Mendes.
She made the film.
She made the film.
Yeah, without
100%.
that, average film.
But then you get to the script stage and you're like, oh, okay, I really, really feel like there's something here. But so much you guys know, you're on set, so much can go wrong on set. And also the idea that you have, even everyone collectively, if you share that idea at the beginning, what you're actually going to end up with is very rarely the same thing because it's really hard and
everyone's
it's
got their
expensive.
interpretation. Even when it starts, people start doing things differently and then you get different takes and
like
edits
actors come in who are different from what you think. And what was lovely about 1972, we did like a huge, it was like 4 maybe 5 months of rehearsals. Like,
well, because it's all one take, isn't it? Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, it's stitched together, but it's like,
but still,
it's basically like 19 long takes.
Yeah, which is more like loads of little plays or
exactly, 100%. And we had to design the sets for the length of some of the dialogue. So you had to be really sure about the dialogue before they started digging trenches.
Yeah, of course.
And if you needed a bit of extra, if you wanted a bit extra dialogue, I had to go and then speak to someone and be like, hey, can we get the JCB out?
Can we just 0.5 that in terms? Can we make it a little bit slower? Slow that scene down.
Exactly.
How do you not sort of lose your mindset with what you've decided? I mean, do you obviously write something and you have to go in with like so much fluidity to not sort of, when things get changed and modified, how do you...
But usually they're getting changed for the better. I mean, I understand. I've never been that... I don't have a theatre background and I think theatre writers are slightly more used to being completely in control of a situation, and also because theatre is an infinite space, so you're using people's imagination, so there's like a lot more give in what you need from theatre than what you need to put in front of a camera to shoot a scene.
Yeah.
And I think because of that, the dialogue is a bit unimpeachable. You don't want to mess around with it. But in film, you know, everything that comes in and gets workshopped and changed and built on usually is for the better. I think like the key thing is with a script, you're never on set trying to make sure the script works. You're on set trying to make sure the film works.
Sure. Yeah.
And I've been on set for every film, which is rare for writers. Like usually you don't get brought out and kind of left at craft services.
Yeah, I was going to say, are people a bit like, oh shit, the writer's here, fuck.
Sometimes to begin with, yes, but then I'm like, no, I'm here to help you.
Guys, I'm here to be like, I'm not against, I'm not saying no.
I'm here to be like, yes.
Collaborate.
If you have an element of like humility about it and it's not, because obviously it's something you've created but it needs to be chopped and changed and all that kind of stuff, then being there is a good thing, but often, I guess maybe that's not the case always and people get a bit concerned with how things are going to go.
The main thing, I mean, what I usually do on set is early on in the process, I'll go up to the first AD and be like, I'm not here to interrupt your flow, I'm here to help it. I'm here for when you don't make your day, I can make that dialogue shorter. Like when you don't shoot this part of the scene and then the scene tomorrow doesn't work, I will write the scene tomorrow overnight so that you have those pages in the morning to make it work. Like, I'm here to service the story with you guys. Like, I'm not here to make sure you say what I've written.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's nice because I think it's a thing that's often missing on set.
Yeah, and people don't really see that side of it. People that understand, like the consumer, people who don't see what goes on during filming, they're like, oh, they wrote it, they left, blah, 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 they've moved on, like this segmented thing. But you see at the show, the thing that we're working on at the minute, you see everyone is in it together every day, and I'm going to go back and rewrite that bit for the director. And it's such a nice way of working. Everyone's...
It also kind of means, like, usually you're not going to do a huge amount of reshoots. Like, usually the process is going to be cheaper.
Yeah.
Like, and like largely it's not expensive to have a writer on set. Like sometimes it's free because they just want to be there.
Yeah.
And I do think having the right type of person with the right type of attitude who is there to collaborate and contribute can make a lot of difference in a project. The wrong person, but it's the same in any department, the wrong person is a disaster and hinders the project, you know.
Yeah.
The word disaster brings us nicely
To me, why are you looking at me?
not to you.
Straight in there.
Not just to you.
Disaster.
It brings us nicely onto
I looked as well.
our section of Humbled in Hollywood, I think.
So how dare you?
Which isn't necessarily about disasters, but it's about, I think the way, like what you described of being on film sets, and it's so interesting, and like everyone from the outside, it seems like it's just all excitement and everything's great and perfect. But what we like to do is get people to share a story, often health and fitness, gym related, but more often than not, nothing to do with those things. But a story of how in your kind of world there are elements of kind of moments of being humbled or things not going to plan, that kind of stuff.
Well, I've often been humbled. I mean, there's times in which you're humbled where, in a really wonderful way, like you write something, you think you've written it really well, and then someone will come in and just instantly change 2 or 3 things, and you're like, fucking hell, they're good. And that's one of my favourite parts of my job. And I work with amazing directors and amazing writers, in which you get humbled like that a lot. But I like, that's humbling in a really lovely way. Humbling in the way that's comedic and that I think you're after is
No.
I mean, things like, so like when all the 1917 stuff was happening, and there was like a lot of press tours, I was doing all that kind of stuff, and it was usually just me, the actors, George McKay and Dean Charles Chapman and Sam, so it was just us flying over doing press tours, and they would make me up, like, so they would have like hair and makeup come in and make me up so I look presentable.
Had you done that sort of thing before?
I'd never done anything like that before. And I remember like a lot of my friends that are actors, like before I was, they were like, it's so intense. They were like, go get like vitamin shots, go and do this. They're like, you need to build up your strength. And I was like, guys, I'm flying around in a private jet, eating food, staying in nice hotels, and all I have to do is talk about a film I love. Cut to like 3 minutes into like interview date, and I'm like, why is it the same question over and over? Like, what's happening? This is how you torture people. And like just turning around,
having an existential crisis.
And a lot of the questions are largely misogynistic as well, but you're not allowed to respond to it the way I would respond to it. So you have to be like, oh, that's such an interesting thing.
You're full promo mode, aren't you?
And there's like 3 people who are turning around just looking at you being like, don't you fucking say that. Don't you and you're like, and you just have to be sweet and nice. But I remember I was in Texas, Dallas, and the woman, and it's like, you know, 6 a.m. someone's coming in, and you arrived at 4 a.m. and they're coming in, and the woman's doing my hair, and I'm like in the bathroom, and I can't see the mirror, but I can see my hair going up, and I was talking to them, and she kept going, she was like, you tend to hear it? And I was like, I just don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you're asking me. I'm so tired. Like, I don't know, like, what do you want me to do? Like, and she's like, tend to hear it. And I was like, no, is that the right answer? And she's doing my hair, and then she starts doing my makeup, and I don't wear them, and she's doing it heavy, and I was like that, and she's like, I do Farrah Fawcett, and I was like, in my head, I was like, Farrah Fawcett's definitely dead. I was like, Farrah Fawcett's been dead a long time, and she's talking about how she put cans in people's hair to make it bigger, and I was like, I was like, just a natural look. I remember, so she leaves, and my PR woman, Phil, comes into the room, and she looks at me and she goes, no, and she puts her hand above me and starts trying to crush my hair down, and it's like poof. It's like, oh, I was 6 foot.
She's done a good job at the thing she was doing.
It was insane.
But it was a job that didn't need doing.
And I remember, like, I took a picture of it and sent it to some people, and then every single person in my friend group was like, the higher the hair, the closer to God. Just like everybody was
I'm
like,
picturing now, have you ever seen that program where like the crazy American mums enter their daughters into pageants?
It was that.
That's what I'm imagining you as.
It was that. And then Rolling Stone did an article about 1917 and interviewed us all, and I was like, oh my god, to be in Rolling Stone is so cool. And do you know how they spelt my name? Krysty
Oh,
Wilson-Cairns.
come on.
Krysty,
Krusty.
right? And everybody on set was like, Sam Mendes saved my name in his phone as Krusty. And also, I used to get called that at school. I was like, this is like
that's
flashbacks.
obviously
I
what
was
you
like,
get at school,
Jesus
isn't it?
That is
fucking
trauma.
Christ.
There's also a
That's
story
so
that I
bad.
remembered. When you went for a hike in...
Oh my God. I mean, that wasn't humbled. That was almost murdered.
Well, we're going to have to hear it now.
But this is almost... We got time.
You weren't joking when you said you could do a whole section.
We got
of
time.
just
Oh my
this
God.
bit.
Oh,
But no,
I-
this
all
is-
I do
if
is
you don't
humble.
mind talking about
I
it,
don't.
because it shows your resilience and determination in, I think, in life and possibly in the gym.
And also just a complete lack of understanding of the natural world, which is as a city person makes sense. On Penny Dreadful, which was like my first job, I was a writer in that with John Logan and another writer, Andrew Hindracker. It was just the three of us, and some of the season 3 that we worked on was being set in the desert. And we were in LA. The writer's room was John Logan's Malibu mansion. Like, it was like amazing. It was like a Bond villain's lair. I was like, how is this my job? It was crazy. And he was like, at the weekend, you guys should go into the desert. You guys don't even know what the desert is, because Andrew, I think, was from Minnesota, and I was
What
from.
a threat.
But
You didn't
it
even
was.
know
I
what
was
it
like, you
is.
don't even.
He's never heard of the Scottish desert.
Yeah, the beautiful Scottish desert, Glasgow.
That deep fried Mars bar, a Scottish desert.
Oh, do you know what? A deep fried Mars bar might have healed me that day. It probably wouldn't have. But so, and he gave us a hike to do in Death Valley, which in its name I should have been like, Death Valley, and it was May, so it was like getting into the sour year. Andrew is like the other writer. He was like a swimmer in school, and he was really healthy. And I was like, okay, great, we'll do this hike. You know, I was like, it's like a 7-hour hike. I've done hikes in Scotland, rainy hikes, but not like that.
You got some big old hills up there. So,
Yeah.
like, you were
I was like, what's a
somewhat
desert?
prepared.
What's the
Yeah.
desert going to do to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turns out Death Valley is like below sea level, and because it's the hottest place on earth, it's like a convection oven. So like the hot air sinks
traps
into
it in there.
it's just so insane. And as we were walking, it's this like a 7-hour hike we're planning doing. We set off at 11 a.m.
Oh, it's a bad
And
decision.
As we're walking, I'm like down in water. And then at one point I stopped sweating, and I was like, oh, good, I've acclimatized. I was like, this means I've acclimatized. Like, I'm in it. I'm great. This is working. I don't really remember anything after like 3 o'clock, but I apparently drove us back to the hotel.
No way.
And then we went for dinner. And then apparently at dinner, I ordered the scallops in the desert. If that's not a giveaway, something was very wrong. And Andrew was like, that was my first concern. At dinner, no recollection is I apparently just started counting backwards from 300, and he was like Andrew, it was just the two of us, and we knew each other quite well. It's like we'd known each other for 3 months, and he was just like, why are you doing this? And then every time he interrupted me, I would start again. I was like, don't know why I did
your
this.
brain has gone into some like weird
Cooked,
Yeah,
like absolutely
yeah,
cooked.
yeah.
And then
Literally
apparently
cooked.
I just got up and went to my room. I don't remember any of this. The next thing I remember is paramedics putting me in a bath full of ice.
Wow.
In my
Was it like
underwear.
really bad heat stroke?
Yeah, it was
Is that
really,
what it
really
was?
bad heat stroke.
And you stopped sweating because
I stopped sweating because I was dehydrated.
there was no water left
Uh-huh.
in her body. So the
Mental.
dehydration, obviously, everyone now knows that we need salts
Of
and
course.
sugars when we have water.
There's a
Yeah.
few morals to this story. It's
Don't go
don't
into
trust your co-workers.
Actually, Andrew Hindracker saved my life because
But
he.
who sent you out there in the
John
first
Logan.
place?
John Logan.
Don't trust him.
Don't trust your bosses.
Yeah, the boss. Trust your co-workers, not your
Yeah.
boss. And if you're going to hike in the desert, set off at like 3 a.m. or something.
I actually have a rule: just don't hike in the
Just
desert.
don't hike in the
Yeah.
desert. Yeah.
There's other places you can admire the desert from the car.
It's when you told me that, you're like, yeah, I didn't really remember anything after 3 o'clock. And I was like, right, this doesn't sound like a
You
story.
were
When you said
like-
I stopped sweating, I was like, that sounds really bad.
Mad.
Oh, that's bad. Imagine
Yeah.
then just counting back.
As the paramedics were kind of like bringing me around, Andrew was like sheet white,
Yeah.
and he stayed in my room. He went down to my room. We were in separate rooms. He went down because he was like, that was so weird. I'm going to check on her, and if he hadn't, I probably would have died.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he phoned the paramedics, and they were kind of like bringing me to, and they were asking me questions, and they were like, I remember them saying, if she doesn't come round properly, we're going to have to put her in the helicopter and go to Las Vegas. And I was like, that sounds great.
That does sound fun.
Don't wake up.
I was
Don't
like,
wake up.
yes. And then when I started answering their questions, they turned and looked at Andrew and were like, does she always sound like this? Has she been drinking? And I was like, rude. How rude.
Did they
American.
think you were putting on like a Scottish accent?
Imagine you were just like American and you started speaking a Scottish accent.
That's
I'd
so
be
funny.
concerned.
The brain swelling had really taken
It
to a
was
new
really
level.
something.
Did it make you feel like really hungover the next day or anything
So
like
they
that?
gave me a crazy amount of like IV.
You
saline.
got like a Hollywood level IV.
I got
IV
the
drip
good
type thing.
treatment.
Yeah.
Slept like a baby. woke up in the morning. Andrew hadn't slept through the night. He basically stayed up at my bedside.
Yeah, just
'cause,
terrified.
Like terrified. The next morning I was like, so should we do this other hike? And he's like, you're in the car. You're going in the car and we're driving and we're not stopping until we're in LA. He's like, just get in the car.
No more hikes. I feel great now.
I was like, I feel really
You
good.
don't
Let's go and see the dunes. He's like, no.
You feel great and you don't remember anything.
I was
it's
like,
the worst combo.
so rested.
The amnesia is amazing.
It's amazing.
I'm glad.
I don't think I've ever heard what happens when someone gets to that level. Maybe everyone else dies when they get to that
you
level.
die. Like you
So you never
genuinely
hear
die.
like what actually happens.
Like
the
if
counting
someone-
backwards is mad.
I-
Like that's,
do you know what?
There's
I don't
something
even-
in there.
I don't even think I've ever done that before. It's not like a thing I think I do.
I feel like that if we get somebody that understands the brain to dig into that'll tell us a lot about you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what that'll tell, so I don't want to
Maybe
know.
we don't want to know.
Yeah,
No, we'll
don't-
leave that
no.
one there then. Leave that one there then. We always round out the episode with looking at what's coming up, which I know
Yes.
might be tricky because there's a lot of things that you do that you're not really able to talk about too much.
Well, it's one of those things I'm not allowed to talk about this stuff, but also I've kind of learned, because I'm so early in the process as well, it's like sometimes I talk about stuff that won't happen for
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know
yeah.
5 years. I mean, I'm working on a big TV show which is like my pride and joy, which I talk to you guys about but not publicly.
Yeah.
And then like, you know, there's a couple of big movies, and I've got my own production company which is producing stuff that I'm doing, but also like
Yeah.
work of other
You're very busy.
Yeah,
I
listeners,
am.
you've heard that big TV show, big films, and her own production company. So
Can we
that's
agree on air? Air? Is this air?
Yeah, we're
on
live
record?
on air. We're live on air.
Whatever this is called. We'll make an agreement now that whatever you're doing, you can hire us as our services.
100%.
There we go. There's a deal.
Okay,
100%.
That's business. That's
Yeah.
been done right there. That's great.
Have you lured Krysty in here to do
Well,
this?
that's actually shaken.
Wait,
There we
wait,
go. That's it.
You've lured
It's
her
on
in for
camera.
a business meeting with cameras and people.
And that will stand up in court. No, but also I would love that. I think it would be great because also it's so. I find it really transformative to my like just overall mental health, general health, and like happiness to come and work out. Like I never really thought I'd be a gym person, but the other thing that's lovely about this gym is like everywhere else in my life I have to make all the decisions and plan everything out and execute to how I think. I just turn up here and you guys do it for me.
You're like a lemming. We move you to
Uh-huh.
places in the gym. Like you go,
Yeah.
put your foot
You give me
there,
the
up
illusion
and
of
down.
choice. You're like, do you want to do this hard thing or this hard thing? And I'm like, well, this, but I know you're going to make me do that one in 4 minutes. So,
Yeah.
and you let me kind of look stupid, which I really enjoy. I think a huge part of like, you know, a lot of times you go to gyms, especially women, you fear this kind of like idea of people looking at you and being like,
Yeah.
what an idiot. Whereas in here, it's like really okay for me to go and be an idiot. And that makes me enjoy training so
But
much
it's like,
more.
I think people, because in our world, it's like that's the normal stuff that we see. That being in that room over there is the equivalent of you sitting and writing.
Yeah.
So like, for what feels like you're looking like an idiot or being uncomfortable or whatever, in our eyes, people always kind of say that. They're like, oh, is that wrong? Is that
Yeah.
this? There isn't really
There
a wrong
isn't.
or right way to do things. There's like safe ways to do things,
Yeah.
I suppose, but there isn't really like a wrong and a right way of doing things. So it's kind of like we just shepherd you through
Yeah.
that process.
I think you're deceptively very good at it because there is definitely a wrong way to do things, and I've done it the wrong way. Like for instance, with that time you gave me the weights and made me stand up in the box. You were like lift up onto the box with the weights, and I went to push, and my entire upper body didn't move, and so I just basically kneed myself in the face as I attempted to stay up, and then I was I've spilled water on myself. So
That
how
I'd never seen.
dedicated I was to that. So I was like, oh my god, it would be so fun to like do that well.
Yeah.
And I never will.
I think that's the thing with this industry. People get too hung up on how you have to do something, and the internet's probably the worst place for that. Because I can't remember, someone asked me a question this morning about like, oh, if I do this way, is that really bad? I was like, no, it's not. It's like completely dependent on
There's so many variables.
what are you actually
Yeah.
aiming to
There's so many
get
variables.
out of the thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
And as a baseline, moving is the best thing, and then you can refine it from there, basically.
And that's in a way like it's lovely to know that, but it's also really nice to come into a place where that's understood and kind of celebrated, and you're not trying to like I never feel when I walk into a PT session here that I have to contort into some notion of like what the trainer thinks I should be doing that day. And a lot of the times it's like really responsive to like, you know, sometimes I'll come in with Georgia and she's like, how do you feel? And I'm like, oh, I just feel really tired. And she's like, I'm going to put you in the Pilates machine and torture you. And I'm like, okay.
So I have to lie down.
I'm like, great. But then I leave that session with like the energy that I really needed, and the sort of like like just like the kind of realignment that I needed, and that you just don't get a lot of places. Like I've never really had that before, and
I
it's
guess-
the reason I keep coming back.
Well, we're kind of like we've sort of accidentally honed ourselves into that
Yeah.
thing, haven't we? And that we're dealing with people who are working in a lot of different creative fields who probably feel a bit like how you described, of not feeling like you fit the mold of what should be a gym goer.
Yeah.
Whereas we're just saying, like, there is no mold, doesn't matter, turn up, do the things, try hard, be nice. That's basically it.
Yeah, I think you're underselling yourselves, but yes.
But on that, I mean, it's really interesting because my final point on that is
It's a debate.
like when you go to a gym, like everyone feels like they have to do certain exercises. You know, the
Yes.
bigger the gym, you feel, I have to go do that, I have to do that glute thing. And then it's even got to the point that people have to wear clothes which take their personality away from them as well. And it's all becoming more, everyone is becoming the same person in a gym. Like the other time I went to the gym and everyone had like a black top on and the same type of running trainer, like 5 people. And they were also like doing the same thing. And like, there is not one size fits all for anyone. Everyone should be doing so many different things. Whereas when you come in, I love it. You got colourful tops on. You're
I know.
being
I'm
you.
just like, I'm like, look at my new trainers I bought this
Chrissy's
week.
trainer game is big. It's
Drinking
good.
a can of Iron Brew.
Great.
I actually have come in with Iron Brew and then be like, oh no, I'm going to be judged. But actually, I'm all right with
But
it.
you come in and that place, what we have here is you be yourself, and we want to make sure that you feel like you are yourself in that space. So that's good.
It's genuinely like such an enjoyable part of my week. Like it's really like the social aspect of it all as well. It's just really nice. Everyone here is lovely.
Possibly the best advert we've ever
Yeah,
heard.
sign that one off, Jim. Get that one
No
signed
problem.
off.
We'll use that. Thank you very much.
Great.
We'll have it echoing outside the front door.
This has been
Best part of the week.
the most eclectic episode I think we've ever done.
It has. We've bumped around.
We've covered
little
a lot of
Scottish
stuff.
boy,
From Scottish little Scottish boy ghosts,
little Scottish boy ghost,
all
ice
the way
hockey.
through to a really, really nice summary of what we do coming from you,
you
which
go.
is great. So thank
Anytime.
you
Happy to
very, very
celebrate.
much. I feel like we could do another 2 or 3
I know.
episodes. Maybe once all the secret
Let
projects
me
have happened.
after one of the projects has been announced or is done.
Let's do that.
Or we could do one when you guys are on the set.
Oh,
We
yeah.
could do one then.
We'll do it on set.
Where are we filming?
Production are gonna
Can
love
we go
that.
somewhere nice? Let's
yes.
just say
Maybe
Mauritius.
Croatia.
That'll
Croatia
do.
would be okay.
I'm fine with
Yeah, we
Croatia.
can do a bit of the coastline.
Yeah.
Coastline, please.
Coastline
There's
of Croatia.
definitely coastline.
Thank you
Thank you,
so
Krysty.
much for coming
No,
on.
thank you. My
Thanks,
pleasure.
Krysty.
No, no.